tells us, سَنُرِيهِمْ آيَاتِنَا فِي الْآفَاقِ وَفِي أَنفُسِهِمْ حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَهُمْ أَنَّهُ الْحَقُّ. God, the Creator, tells us in this book, we shall show them our signs in the horizons and within themselves until they know that this is the truth. Because the book has to tell you and convince you it's from God, right? Otherwise, you might pick a Harry Potter and say, this is from God. Quran convinces people when they read and investigate it that it has to be from our originator, our God. Because otherwise, people can fall into the prey of worshipping and following anyone and anything, right? People can follow any book and think it's from God.
And give you peace. Peace that comes from God.
So any book which is from God must provide evidence for its divine origin. The Quran says this is a book. لا يأتون بمثله. No one can imitate it. No one can bring anything like it. For the 1440 something years has passed, no one is able to bring a chapter like the Quran. Why is it so impossible? Shakespeare can be imitated, Beethoven can be imitated, but the Quran cannot be imitated in the style, in the linguistics, in the stylistics. So this is a hallmark, a seal from God that this is from Him. So that in your heart you know it's from God. That you know you're not being conned or deceived. That you're not being fooled. That you know that yes, when you use your mind and your heart and your critical thinking, you investigate, you explore, you know that this book indeed is from God. Then you will have the contentment and the peace in your heart to follow this book. You know, yes, I can surely follow this book of what it says to me, and I know what's going to happen to me because it describes me what's going to happen when I die. That it's not going to be the worms that will come and eat me only and that's it. There will be another life. God will recreate us again with another life. Some people used to think, even today, how can you be brought back to life again? When we are rotten, flesh and bones, how can we be brought back to life again? In the Quran, God gives us so many reasons for us to think otherwise. God says, the one who created you first time is not able to bring you back again second time? Of course. Creating first time is difficult. Doing it again is not difficult. The one who brings fire from green trees is able to bring you back. Yes. The one who created you in the womb of your mother in several stages of creation, one creation after the other in different stages, describing how you were born, and now we know that's the case. He will create you again second time. He says, look at this. You think He can't bring you back? He says, بَلَا قَادِرِينَ عَلَىٰ أَن نُسَوِّيَ بَنَانَا. He's able to bring you back even to the tips of your fingers. What's so special about it? What's so special about the tip of our fingers? Unique. Mine is different than yours. That's why in forensic science, we use fingerprintings as an evidence. Yeah? If I find the fingerprinting of some individuals in the crime scene, murder and the knife or whatever, we say this is the individual that's done it. Because his fingerprint is not going to match yours or mine. Okay. God is telling us He will bring back as unique as we are, resurrected again. Yeah, He's able to do so. Not only that, He says, look how He brings from the barren, dry land. Have you ever been to a land which is totally dry? The earth is split dry. And then a season of rain comes and sprouts all these plants and herbs and trees from nowhere. Dead land, and you can see life coming forth. So God is saying, even though you're dead, He will resurrect you again. Not only that, it's not impossible, it's easy for Him. Okay. And not only it's easy, this is demanded by justice. Okay. Aren't there people who live this life and they kill people, they murder people, they commit genocide, ethnic cleansing, horrible things, and they live like a king and they die like a king? Where is justice? They get away with it. They die and they get away with it. Where was justice done? Justice is not done. So justice itself demands that there must be a day of judgment in which all of us are recreated, and we will then account and be responsible for all our actions and all our belief. We stand in front of God, and God will judge us fairly and justly. So anyone who's done something wrong, the Quran says, فَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ خَيْرًا يَرَى وَمَنْ يَعْمَلْ مِثْقَالَ ذَرَّةٍ شَرًّا يَرَى. Whoever has done an atom weight of good, a weight of mustard seed, a good, you will see it. If you have done something bad, even to the weight of a mustard seed or an atom, you will see it. Meaning, He will take account of every action you do. If you found a money bag, purse, with a lot of money, and then you took it and used yourself, you will have to account for it. It wasn't yours to begin with. Did you wait and find out, and did you ask, oh, has anyone lost this money, this book? Or did you just founders keepers, like they say? You will be accountable for every single penny. So Islam is such a system of justice and fairness that you realize that even if I were to pick a thorn, an obstacle from the road so that people don't get hurt, that is a good action, and God will reward us. Even if I were to smile at my brother, how are you? That becomes part of worship. Because my brother may be suffering for something, whatever, and by me smiling at him, it has given him comfort. So all of these actions, this is a good actions, and we are going to be rewarded. Anything that we do, good or bad, we will see it. So Islam considers this life in which we live our life as a test. That is the distinction between every other people. They think you just live your life and that's it. No, we live our life as a test, and we will be judged for everything that we do. And if we are successful in following God in the best of our capacity, believing in Him and doing God's works, like as I said, be nice, be kind, be just, and so on, right? Then the reward is there in the day of judgment. We will be in a place of eternal happiness, joy, bliss, tranquility, comfort, contentment. You know, sometimes you feel so much comfort and contentment. This place is the eternal bliss. But those who become arrogant, those who are stubborn, knowing the truth and they don't want to follow God and to thank and be grateful to God, and they become a rebel against God, and they don't acknowledge Him and associate partners with God, they will be in a place of torment, punishment, suffering. And I'm telling you, it is such a suffering that even you would not even your enemy to go there. Such an evil torment and suffering. Quran says, in fact, when the people are thrown into the hellfire because of their arrogant disbelief, and as often as a skin is roasted and burnt, do you know what happens? God gives them fresh skin so that they can feel the chastisement, the punishment, the pain. God is giving a threat about an impending punishment for people not to go to hellfire, but He's also already establishing proof for His threat. Do you know how He does that? What happens when we burn? You have several degree burns. First degree burn, second degree burn, third degree burn. You know about that. When we burn, you can have a little bit of burn and you still feel so much pain, right? If you burn with so much heat, you can put a needle through and you won't feel any pain. Do you know why? Does anyone know why? Because the pain receptor, the nerves, they're all destroyed. They're underneath the skin. The receptors for pain, pressure, touch, they're underneath your skin. Pain receptors underneath the skin. When you burn the skin in totality, there is no pain receptor. So even if you were to cut your hands, you won't feel any pain. Look what God says. As often as the skin is burned, He puts them on fresh skin. Why? Fresh pain receptors, fresh nerves, so that they can feel the pain. So some people may be clever and say, you know what, when I go to hellfire and I'm burnt initially, I would not be feeling any pain anymore. I'll be happy, I'll be okay. No, God doesn't give them the chance. Just know, if you really think you're clever, I will be recreating the skin fresh again, so you will constantly feel the punishment. But don't make yourself go to hellfire. God constantly tells us, avoid going to hellfire. Don't follow the footstep of Satan, someone who tells you to do all the bad things. Worship a potato or a man or a woman, worship other than God. Do things, murder, kill, whatever, associate partners with God. There are people who are whispered to do all of these things. God says, no, stop following this path. This is a path of destruction. But follow the path of the prophets and the messengers who came to tell you how to live your life and to be successful in this life and successful in the hereafter. That is the life the Quran describes to us, that how we can live our life. So a Muslim, the one who lived this life of Islam, you can be sure that this person is not going to lie to you. That's what a Muslim means. Someone who practices no lying, no cheating. If a Muslim lies, what happens to your Islam at that point? God says don't lie. The Prophet of God, Muhammad ﷺ, says don't lie. That is the teaching that should be embodied by the one who follows this religion. So if a practitioner of Islam, you would know that this person is not going to oppress me, is not going to cheat me, is not going to commit any injustice to me, is going to be sincere, is going to be kind, grateful, is going to be pleasant to work with, is going to be someone who's going to be always fair and always just, someone who's not going to, with his greed, loot my wealth. He's not going to do that. Instead, he's the one who's going to offer me the support and the help that I need. We are required by God's divine law, if we have a certain amount of wealth, 2.5% of our surplus wealth, we are obliged, mandatory on us, to give it to the poor. It's their right. We can't look down on the poor. They have a right on our wealth. Imagine that. The poor people have a right on our wealth. It's like their money. If I have enough money, they have a right, we have to give it to them. When Islam was implemented, during the 5th Caliph, Abdul Aziz, he was trying to find people to give this charity to. He couldn't find people. That's how it is. He cannot find people to give this zakat charity to. Why? Because everyone was well off. Because of the Islamic economic system, in which we don't just hoard wealth, we distribute. We don't just do gamble, and we don't do interest and usury, where we totally enslave not individual communities but whole nation. Look how many nations are enslaved by this usury and interest system. The banks, they give you loan, give you £1,000 or £50,000, and how much do you have to give in return?
15.9%.
So much more. Just think about it. If I am in need, say something happened to the roof of my house, I need to rebuild it. I need money, but I don't have it. I go to you, my friend. I need some money. Either you give it to me, or can you lend me some money? If you are a kind person, you would say, no, okay, there is this money that we need. Give me the money back again after a certain time, once a time. You would not say, okay, here is £10,000, but give me £20,000. What would that say? You are greedy. You are not only greedy, you are an opportunist. Not only you're an opportunist, you are victimizing a vulnerable individual who's in need. You have been doing what we call exploitation of my need. You're exploiting my vulnerability, and you're making money and profit. When your kindness and generosity should be that you say, you know what, £10,000, give me £10,000, 2 months, 3 months back later. I don't have that need for this money now. I have enough money. That's the kindness and generosity it should be. But look at the banking systems. They're all like that. So Islam says God and His Messenger has declared war, battle against usury and interest, because it dehumanizes people. People is dehumanized. They are such that they become so greedy and exploit. They become greedy and so, exploiting in their nature that it's not that they're not even decent human beings anymore, right? So Islam brings about a system in which people can still be human beings with empathy and sympathy, kindness and generosity. Yeah, that is the teaching. That is the teaching of Islam, where your heart and your mind would say, that makes sense. That is something that I would like to follow, because that is the most ideal way of following our life, living our life. That is the standard that we should uphold. The standard of living should be a standard in which you don't look down upon people or a community. Do you know what the Quran says about race, ethnicity? The Quran says God created human beings in different languages and colors, in communities, so that we can recognize each other. Not that we despise of each other, so that we can lita'arafu, so that we can recognize each other. And I will explain what this means in a second. And the most honorable, inna akramakum indallahi atqakum, the most honorable, most best person among you is not the one who is most wealthiest, is not the one who is white or black or Chinese or Pakistani or Indonesians, whatever. It's not the one who is beautiful. The most honorable individual in the sight of God is the one who is pious, God conscious, the one who is righteous. So the distinction between our races, because you know what, I am from a higher race called the Aryans. No such thing in Islam. No such thing as a superior race called the Arabs and the non-Arabs. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do you know what he said in the last sermon? He says, hear this clearly. There is no superiority of an Arab over a non-Arab. An Arab is no superior, no greater, no better than a non-Arab. And likewise, a black person is not greater, superior, better than a white person. And so is a white person not better, greater than a black person. So the distinction between black and white, the rich and poor, all dissolves around it. Islam doesn't just teach that. It demonstrates that in practice. Do you know how it does that? 5 times a day we pray. Muslim men go to a mosque. Do you know what we do in the mosque? We stand side by side. He may be the king or the president. I may be a cleaner of the streets. He may be an emperor, whatever. He may be so rich. All of us stand in one line, shoulder to shoulder, with making no difference between us, praying to God, saying we are all equal in the sight of God. Not only that, the greatest gathering on earth is called the Hajj, pilgrimage. That is going to be in about what? 2 weeks? Do you know what you will see? You will see a practical demonstrations how the unity and brotherhood or the sisterhood of humanity, where every human being, every male, for example, will wear 2 pieces of clothes, not sewn together, stitches. 2 pieces of clothes, he will wear the same, I will wear the same. He may be the king of Saudi Arabia. Because of security reasons, he might have guards, but technically I can stand in front, next to him, side by side, and pray to God. Same clothes, nothing else. 2 pieces of clothes on our body, making sure that we don't demonstrate any kind of distinction and differentiation between who we are in the eyes of God. That is a practical demonstration of the unity and brotherhood, that we don't look down upon someone because, oh, where are you from, brother? Saudi Arabia. I'm not from Saudi Arabia. I'm not going to put him down in any way, shape or form, neither can he. The moment I know he's a Muslim and he knows I'm a Muslim, guess how we feel?